Hello folks, welcome to my channel Java Demystified by SSR. Here comes the question number 4. What are the command line arguments in Java? Explain briefly. So let's understand command line arguments in Java with a program. So I'm back to my test class test, and I have my main method. In my main method, we have string array args. We have understood the string array args in previous question. And here in the method block, the business logic goes. Usually we will invoke the methods. But here the thing is how command line arguments are used in Java. So let me save this program, go to the terminal from where actually I am invoking my main method. So let me compile javac test.java. It's compiled successfully, and Java test, and there is nothing to print because in my main method I have no system.out.println statements. The question here is what are command line arguments? That means whenever we are executing this class test, because this test is an executable class. Yeah, it's nothing but main, and main has an array in it which actually takes strings. It takes everything, but when it goes into this particular array, they will be represented in the form of strings actually, and which has a name. So usually we will have that name as args, right? Now this args is a name which actually referring to an array of type strings, and we can actually send some arguments from this command, and those arguments are actually called command line arguments. Now what I can do is java space test, I can actually pass my name. Let's say the name I'm passing is Java, right? I can do that actually. But now what happens when you pass this particular string Java, it was actually available in this particular string array which is referred by args at args of 0, but I am not doing anything with that particular args of 0 in my method. Okay, so whenever you say like this, what actually happens? So as explained in the previous question, so let me once again tell you that. So whenever the main method is invoked, we understand that a main stack is going to get created. Yes, in the main stack we have in the main stack we have the local variable whose name is args. So here it is the args, right? And this args actually referring to an array which is implicitly an object. So all objects are created in your heap memory. Okay, let us assume this is your heap area. This is a big memory. This is main memory or the RAM actually. Let us assume, so in the main memory, the heap that is allocated actually for this particular program may be of this size. Okay, so the first part is your heap of the RAM, and here a string array. So an array is implicitly an object actually. So this object is going to get allocated here in your heap. Okay, so this is, let's say this is your object. Yeah, so now this object actually is referred by this args. Through args we can actually go to the string array, this array object. Now whenever I say java space test and Java, so this is actually my command line argument, a single argument which is string argument, right? So this actually goes and resides in this particular array which is referred by args, and here that means here in the first slot of this particular array I have Java here. I have this Java over available over there. Okay, so now if you pass any other argument, let's say we are actually saying here Java, and I am also passing 10. So one string argument and another is integer argument. Even though it is integer, when it goes to string array, when it goes to the string array, that is a slot 1, so slot 0, and this is slot 1, and here you have this 10 available like this. So this 10 actually represented as a string because it is a string array. The array object consisting of n number of slots, and each slot actually occupied by the command line arguments that you are passing. So Java is the first argument that goes over here, and 10 is the second argument, and everything will be in the form of uh, strings actually. So aux of 0 will be Java and aux of 1 will be 10 for me. So this is actually what is going to happen. So let me update my code over here. So what I'm doing here is I'm writing a system.out.println statement to print the arguments which I'm passing from the command line. So system.out.println, and what you need to print actually aux of 0. If anything is there, that is aux of 0, and you want aux of 1 also, you can actually do that actually. Let me use only aux of 0 as of now, and later I will explain. So I'm going to my terminal again here. So Java space test, and I'm saying Java. Okay, this is one argument which I am passing actually, so that will be in the aux of 0, and this aux of 0 I would like to print, right? So before that I have to compile this. So Java C test.java. So compiled successfully, and now I am passing this particular test and I am saying Java. So aux of 0 will be Java, that is my first argument. So you can see actually Java got printed, right? Yeah, so now I can actually pass many arguments. For example, I am passing other argument, then that will get actually stored in the slot 2, and that also will get printed. Okay, so usually without using any reader classes like buffered reader or any scanner classes, how to read some data from the some data to your program, your Java application. So then these command line arguments will help you. Okay, without having any knowledge of any IO readers or any scanner knowledge, if at all you want to read some data to your program and make something work with that data, you can actually make use of the command line arguments. Otherwise, if you have the knowledge of IO classes like buffer reader, you can actually read using the standard buffer reader and the readline method. Otherwise, you can make use of scanner class and the methods which are available with the scanner. You can do that. So without any knowledge of that, at initial stages when you are actually starting your Java with first program and all, these command line arguments actually help you to read the data from the keyboard and work on it. Okay, yeah, so somebody can ask you, so write a program to print your name by reading it from keyboard. So this is actually the code for that actually. So I'm going to give my name here, Java space test. Let us assume my name is some ABC. Now ABC is going to get printed, so I am reading from the keyboard and it is getting printed. So this ABC actually will be available in this string array at aux of 0. So aux of 0 is here. So now I want one more argument to be taken. So what I do is system.out.println args of 1. Okay, so let me save this, and I'm going back over here, and let me compile this. So it's compiled successfully. Before that, let me clear. So I have cleared it. So Java test. Let's pass two arguments because you want to access aux of 0 and aux of 1. So now what I'm doing is I am passing two numbers actually, 10 and 20. So aux of 0 will be 10, which is represented as a string there, and 20 is also string. So I'm printing with println. So 10 got printed and 20 also got printed, right? So this is how you can actually pass command line arguments to your Java program. Okay, so now somebody can ask you a question. So write a program to read two numbers from the keyboard and find the summation. Okay, so how to do that actually? The question is write a Java program to read two numbers and find the sum of those two numbers. Assume you don't have any knowledge about any scanner class or any IO readers. So what you can do is, you know that the main method has a string array in it. You can actually pass the number string to that particular string array, and you can actually access them through your array name, that is aux of 0, 1, 2, 3 until so on n. Then actually you can find the sum of that. Okay, let me actually do that thing. So I am actually making a little change in this program. Yeah, what I want to do is because I want to read two numbers, right? So one number actually I am reading to aux of 1, and another number is aux of one number will be in aux of 0 and another will be to aux of 1. So aux of 1. So how about this? I have just made, so my question is to read two numbers and find the summation. Now first number will be in aux of 0 and second will be in aux of 1, and plus I am using actually here, right? So I'm expecting a summation of aux of 0. For example, 10 is the first argument and 20 is the second argument. I am going to get 30 as the outcome actually. That was my expectation, but see what actually happens here. Command S, so I have saved this, then I'm going back to my terminal. So java c test.java, so it's compiled successfully. There is no issue in that, but whenever I am passing the arguments, I am passing 10 and 20. Now what happens? This 10 will be in aux of 0 and 20 will be in aux of 1. I am asking actually plus. Okay, so I am actually expecting a summation over here actually, right? Sum of for this aux of 0 plus aux of 1. But the thing what we need to understand is, but whenever I run this, there is actually something we need to understand. Let's see what actually happens. So the outcome actually I can see here, the outcome I can actually see here is something different, right? So this is the outcome I'm getting is 1020. So 10 plus 20, it is giving me 1020. What actually gone wrong over here? Okay, so nothing wrong, but only thing that we have to understand here is, yeah, so we know whatever you pass through the command line arguments, whatever you pass through the command line argument, what happens? Whatever you are passing through the command line arguments, what happens? They will be going and residing actually in, they will go and reside in a string array. So they will be treated as strings actually. So when I pass 10 and 20, 10 is a string and 20 is also string. And this plus operator, how this plus operator will work is, when two strings are given, it will concatenate. Okay, otherwise at least one string is there. So plus is a binary operator, it takes two arguments, at least one is a string, it does the concatenation. So it adds one string to the other actually. That means appending will happen. That is also called concatenation. When it gets absolutely two numbers, then it adds, it does the integer summation, or if double means double number summation, whatever it may be. So when two arguments are numbers, it does the integer summation, it does this arithmetic summation. Otherwise, at least one is a string, it does the concatenation. So that's actually what happens. So 10 is a string and 20 is also string because they are residing in this particular string array, right? So that's why we are actually not getting the outcome properly. So what to do now is, what I'm doing is I am actually making use of some variable over here, and before that what I'm doing is I have some integer here declared, and this integer a actually aux of 0 and some integer b which is actually my aux of 1. Okay, so what I'm doing is some int sum equals to this a plus b. Okay, so and later I am saying sum. So but do you think the problem solved? No, because aux of 0 is a string and we are actually assigning that to an integer, so you will be getting a compile time error. We will be getting a compile time error. Let me see actually. So how this compile time error will come? So let me save this and go to my terminal. Yeah, let me compile this. When I compiled, I am actually getting incompatible type. String cannot be converted to integer. The reason is args of 0 is a string, because args is referring to an array which is of type strings, and strings cannot be converted to integers, right? So that's why what we need to do actually here, we need to convert any string represented integer to its integer. Okay, so 10 actually is an integer but is a string represented. So we have some wrapper classes available in Java, like integer is a wrapper class for int, and we have 9 wrapper classes. I will actually take up a question on that, and they are having some static methods like parseInt. So what parseInt method will do is it will actually parse a string to a parseInt method will parse a string represented integer to integer. So args of 0 is actually string, but it contains 10, so that 10 actually can be parsed to integer with the help of the static method of this integer class. In the same fashion, we can actually convert this args of 1 also to integer with this particular parseInt method. Okay, so now these two have been now converted to integers, and sum is an integer, so a and b became absolute integers, and then what I'm asking is system.out.println sum. Okay, so this program will be fine now. So let me actually go to my terminal, let me compile this javac test.java. So whenever you are actually giving your class names, you should be clear about your class name. So javac test.java, so compiled successfully. Whenever I am saying java test, now what I'm doing is I'm passing two arguments 1 to 3 and 3 to 1. Okay, so these are two integers, but when they go when actually they were sent, so they are sent to actually main method, and they are going to reside in main method's array, which is of type string. So these 1 2 3 and 3 to 1 will become initially strings. Later in my code I am converting them back to integers. Okay, so now I am doing summation. So when we run, the output that is expected is 444 actually, right? So we are getting 444. So here, so a plus b plus actually is an operator which has two arguments, and these two arguments are integers, right? So whenever two numbers are given, two integers given, it does arithmetic. Okay, but at least one argument is a string, then it does the concatenation. Okay, so that's what actually happens with the command line arguments, and how they are going to get stored in your string array, right? So now one more thing I would like to tell regarding this command line arguments is how actually we can take n number of arguments from the command line. So whenever I am invoking, what I want to do is whenever I am invoking, I would like to give n number of arguments. For example, I want to give some marks of some student actually. So let us assume my son has got marks for 100. So he got in subject 1 he got 89, in the subject 2 78, in subject 3 65, subject 4 some 98, subject 5 some 87, and subject 6 some 75, and let us assume there are more subjects, optional subjects like computer science, etc. So the marks are like 56, 67, and 87. I don't know how many arguments I am giving, so I want to pass n number of arguments actually. So you can do that, but all these marks actually will go and reside in this particular array args, which is a string. So all will be in the string form actually. Now finally what I want to do is what are all the subject marks I have passed, I want to find the summation, right? How do I do that actually? Okay, so in order to do this kind of stuff, let me actually go to program and change this. Okay, so now what actually happens, though the user is actually passing n number of arguments to this particular string array, and you want to do some operation on that. Okay, so whenever you are working with n number of a group or a collection of elements, so we usually go for loop, right? So let's have a for loop written here. So for int I equals to 0, so some integer I equals to 0, I less than, so I don't know what is the size actually, size of these command line arguments, but I know that all these arguments are going to reside in my particular array called args, right? So what I do is I less than args dot length. So we have an attribute that is available for arrays in Java, the length attribute. So this length is an attribute which actually gives the size of the array, right? So we know the index starts from 0 and goes up to n minus 1, so I less than args dot length is actually a best fit here, right? So it start from zero slot of array, go up to that n minus 1 slot, so I less than args dot length. This length actually is an attribute available for array object in Java, which actually gives the size of the array, right? And I plus plus. So here what I'm doing is, because I want to find the sum of some n number of marks, right? So all those marks actually integers, but when they reside in this particular args array, they are strings. So what I have to do is I have to make up the conversion. Okay, so I want to do something like this. So sum equals, so I want to find the sum of all those marks, right? Sum equal to sum equal to sum plus. So before for loop, what I require is I want to make my sum initially equal to 0, because I am repeatedly adding these marks into my sum. So 0 plus first mark, then this marks plus the second marks, like that. So that's the logic actually we will follow. So sum equal to sum plus. So first I need to add the args of 0, but args of 0 is a string, so I want to convert that, right? So now what I will have to do, integer dot parse int of args of arg of args of I. So when it is 0, this is I value will be 0, then it will be I plus plus, it is 1, something like that. So this loop will execute iteratively till all the elements, all the numbers in the particular args array are accessed, right? So once you come out, just print the sum, system.out.println sum. So here I can write sum of all, yeah, let me actually clear these things, clear all drawings. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I cleared them, sum of all marks, and that I'm concatenating with the sum variable. So this is a string, sum of all marks will get printed initially, and whatever the sum that we have computed is going to get added to this. So that's how we can actually take n number of marks or whatever it may be to from command line, so when we are invoking our application, and those things can actually taken because there are group of marks are there. So what I'm doing is I'm taking an array, and this is the logic to find the summation of all those things. And let's compile this, and this is the code to do that actually. So only thing we have to remember is in string array, everything that we pass will be in the string form, so we need to convert them back to our required form. So you want integer, convert them to integer. You are passing double, convert them to pass double by pass double, and we have those methods which are available for all wrapper classes. So let me save this. So go to my terminal. So here in my terminal, before this what I need to do is what I need to do is, this output is actually for two things. Let me compile, right? Yeah, we have to compile. So let me compile this. Yeah, so javac test.java, and there is something actually, yeah, so there is a spelling mistake in length actually, right? length, right? So length attribute, the spelling for the length is length. That's why we actually seeing the error over here. So let's clear it and compile once again. Javac test.java is compiled successfully, and Java test now pass the marks, a number of marks actually. Okay, so I am passing 89, 67, 56, 45, 98, 57, 40, 49, then 98 and 68 and 58. So I don't know how many values I am passing, but I don't need to worry because I have that args dot length. That length will give me the array of that size, and 91, and finally I am actually giving some 85. Okay, so the code actually finds the sum of these things, right? So sum of all marks is 861. Okay, so you can take n number of arguments from the command line arguments. So this is how the command line arguments will work. Okay, before closing, I just want to uh, give you one important thing here actually. So this code I am just erasing off, and one important thing I would like to tell you here is, yeah, what happens actually, system dot out dot println, and what I'm doing is args of I'm just saying args of 1. I'm just saying args of 1. Okay, I'm interested in only args of 1, right? So I'm actually saving this and I compile this. So there is no problem, compile successfully, and whenever I'm passing, what I need to pass, two arguments at least I need to pass, right? Because I'm interested in args of 1. So if only one argument I pass, this is args of 0, and 2 I pass, this is args of 1. So there is no problem. Sorry, sorry for this. Two arguments I need to pass actually. So because I am interested in args of 1. But what if we pass only one argument? Just see. Yeah. So when you pass only one argument, you are trying to access the second argument. You will actually get a runtime exception, that is java.lang.array index out of bounds exception at index 1. So this is important, right? Exception in thread main. So this exception in thread main is actually an abnormal termination of your application, and there is a problem with index 1. So at the index 1, you are accessing index 1, but there is nothing in the index 1. So this leads to array index out of bounds exception. So this is a runtime exception, and this exception is defined in Java API as part of the lang package. So at the line number 5, you are accessing args of 1, but this args of 1 is not available. Okay, so you passed only one argument. You are asking for arguments of 1, but there is no data that is available. You have not passed that second argument actually. So this case, array index out of bounds exception will come. Okay, so that's why this has to be taken care whenever you are passing arguments. So if you pass more than two arguments, there is no issue, because I am interested in 20 only, because args of 1, there is no issue. But you should not pass a fewer arguments. For example, even if I am not passing any arguments, I am going to get array index out of bounds exception, right? So I have no arguments, but I have not passed any arguments to my array, but I am actually requesting them. So that's not possible, right? So that's why array index out of bounds exception will come. Okay, so these things I will cover in other question. Major exceptions like array index, null pointer, number format, arithmetic exception. I will make up some other interview questions and I will cover all those things over there. Hope you understood command line arguments and how to pass the command line arguments, what actually happening internally when you pass command line arguments, and then how you are going to access, in what form they are getting stored, and what if you are passing fewer number of arguments than you are accessing. Okay, so when you pass fewer number of arguments than you're accessing, then the number that you are accessing, then you are resulting into array index out of bounds exception. If you pass more number, there is no issue, but if you are passing fewer number of arguments, you will actually land into array index out of bounds exception. Hope you have understood this particular answer for this question. If you like these answers, please subscribe to my channel. Please like the videos. So I am actually giving a series of videos, and share these videos to your friends and colleagues. Thanks for watching. Please stay tuned for other interview questions and answers as well. Thank you.